Quick disclaimer, I'm so stupid and I filmed this entire video without realizing I had not changed my microphone on OBS. So the audio is not going to sound like it does right now with this nice, beautiful microphone. It's this microphone that's shoved into my headset that was recording. I tried to do as best as I could with the audio. I apologize for that for this episode. But anyways, I'll get back to it. Welcome and welcome back, everyone, to the Journey to 2000 Fide series. This is episode 7. And I got surprised with another over-the-board team match. The season was supposed to have been over. We had made it to the semifinals. So this is the official last game of the season. And I'm going to show you guys. So d4, I'm a London guy. So we get d4, knight f6, and bishop f4, boom, c5. I have not been playing chess for months. I have been taking a big break, and when this match happened, we got invited. I thought, okay, I'm like not at all brushed up, and this is going to be improvised. I'm not going to have the time to study, or I just don't care to study. So this was one line that I was a little bit worried about facing in the London. This is a really tricky line, the knight f6 and the immediate c5, followed by almost always queen b6. Luckily, because of this is such a tricky line, I have learned it as best as I could. You know, it's kind of a question of how deep you're willing to go into theory. My opponent plays c5. I immediately respond with e3. He plays queen b6. Up until now, he's playing fast. He's confident. I'm confident. I'm playing quickly. He plays queen b6. At this point, because I'm actually noting the moves, queen b6, I hadn't started noting the time, so which means that we were playing it instantly. I play knight c3, which is book move. It's the best move, and if you don't know this move, you could already be in trouble. But I do know this move, and I do know this line. And the point is, basically, if you were to take here, you jump forwards, I believe, with the knight, and you're already threatening that fork, and it goes into a pretty theoretical line. I'm not going to go over all of it, but it's better for white almost always, but you have to know the theory. I played this move, and this was the first big think of my opponent, which was already, as you guys know, a huge psychological success. Your opponent is conveying that they don't know theory anymore, and if you are conveying you know theory, it's going to play on them psychologically, and also it's just a time advantage. So at this point, I played knight c3, and he took a few minutes to think about the next move, so he played d6. D6, and then, let's see here. This is weird. Was I playing slower or was he? 127. I don't know, whatever. Rook b1, this was kind of, now I'm out of theory because after d6 I was just like, okay, looks like a solid move. I'm now just not wanting to lose a pawn uselessly because like especially in these classical games, losing one pawn really can just kind of cost you the game. So I just thought, I'm not sure if this is the best move, but it protects the pawn, and I kind of go with the logic of, okay, the queen is attacking the b2 pawn. It looks like my rook is tied down defending this pawn, but also the queen is tied down in this square is not the best square unless you're attacking this pawn. Otherwise, it's just not the best square for the queen. So I don't remember where I heard that, but one of a master of some kind said, "Hey, yeah, your rook is tied down to this pawn, but so is the queen, and the queen is worth more than the rook." So I went with that logic. Bishop d7. Yeah, I remember thinking, okay, that move is fine, a little bit slow, probably knight's coming out to c6, but whatever, I'm just going to develop. This was somewhat of a committal move here, the knight f3, because they always can go knight h5, and when you develop the knight, you can't just take it with your queen. So I think I thought for a second to make sure, okay, do I care about this bishop? Can I still save it? Blah, blah, blah. He didn't go for it right away, though. He played e6, which is the best move. Bishop e3. Bishop d3. I'm just developing. At this point, develop, get your pieces out. Again, if he wants to go after my bishop, fine. I had continued to take a look at that, and he played it. And this is the kind of move that you will see at the 15 to 16, certainly below, I would say, like 1800 rating. It's often not the best move, knight h5. And but the follow-up and how to punish it is not so easy. I happen to go about it the wrong way. So knight h5 is a mistake. The computer actually says to ignore it. So yeah, d5 is the best move here. This is apparently giving white a small advantage. Not so obvious to just give up the bishop and double your pawns. Really not obvious, so I'm kind of like not super upset at myself for this. But I'd calculated this line, and that obviously he would play either h6 or f6, and then for some reason, this was stupid, I miscalculated. Um, that's, yeah, after takes, pawn takes, and, or sorry, after takes and knight takes, the knight's defended. I don't know what went wrong in my calculation, but still not the end of the world. I could always drop the bishop back. I opted for knight d2 here because, okay, if he takes the bishop, I'm taking that knight and likely winning that pawn back, and also my pawn structure is better than his, so I'd be okay giving up my bishop for that. That's not what happened though. He dropped the knight back to f6. I saved my bishop. He takes on d4. This was the first moment where I was like, whoops, that was stupid. I wish I had calculated this whole knight h5 thing earlier. So he takes on d4. And yeah, I think if I remember correctly, so we're on move, let's see here, we're on move 11. And the time, just for you guys to know, is, dude, what is with my, okay. I believe I had a time advantage here. But maybe I didn't. Maybe it was actually black. I don't know. I didn't note this. Anyways, I just had to make peace with losing that pawn temporarily. But from here on out, I was really happy because I did find a chain of good moves, and I was resourceful and kind of tactical. Knight c4 hits the queen, so it's kind of a what do they call that? I'm creating a bigger threat. So yes, I could take back, but this is probably better than taking back, I'm guessing. Because I get to jump my knight in more closer to the center. I hit the queen. Queen's got to move. And he drops back to c7, which is a mistake. You can almost take that. That's almost, it looks really, just looking at this, for me, this looks wrong. I don't know why. Even if it is defended twice, it looks wrong. I feel like there's tactics. So queen c7, I take, so I get the pawn back. Yeah, it's kind of looking isolated for the moment, but if this knight ever moves, I can always play c3. That was looking super solid. I figured at this point I was maybe, it was still pretty even. I don't know if I thought I had an advantage yet, but anyways, b5. And very dubious move. Okay, obviously he just doesn't like my knight there. He can't take the knight because it's defended by the bishop. He plays b5. Dubious move. Why? Because it opens that diagonal. So I first drop the knight back, knight e3. Some of you might see a tempting move, but not yet. Knight back to e3. These knights, I just kind of thought to myself, like, this looks fine. This looks nice. These are, I don't know, my knights look good. My bishop's applying some pressure. My pieces are pretty active. More active than black. I would say if white has a position, sorry, if white has an advantage here, it's because I have a lead in development and some pretty centralized pieces. Obviously, b4 could happen here, but I think, let's see, b4 here doesn't look good because, well, because of a reason you guys will see right now. He didn't play b4, he played a6. Boom, queen f3. As soon as he played this, I realized, holy crap, I think I'm winning a piece here, and therefore the game. Queen f3, best move, but it's not so easy. Obviously, this is forking the knight on f6, and it's forking the rook on a8. That was the drawback of playing b5. That's why it's a bad move. It opens up the diagonal, kind of traps the rook. Yes, he plays bishop g7, which defends the knight, and this basically says, go ahead and take my rook, I dare you. And this, guys, right here is the crux of the game. This is the most critical moment of the game, and also, I'm going to tell you right now, the most exciting part of the game. Why? Because he's saying, go ahead and take my rook, I dare you. So I respond, okay, I'm going to calculate it. And after, let's see here, after move 15, okay, so move 15, I'm at 58 minutes. This is a classical game, an hour and 30 minutes. And he has a time advantage, so he's at an hour and 15 minutes. But I'm pretty comfortable with time, so it's not like I'm down to 15 minutes or anything. 58 minutes here. Queen f3. I spent 49 minutes, okay? So I spent nearly 10 minutes on this next move. And my response, like I said, was, okay, I'm going to calculate. And then after, I said, yeah, I'm going to take that rook. I'm going to take that rook because I spotted something that you maybe didn't see. I thought I was hoping for a brilliant move here, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. It's hard to know how findable and how advanced this tactic is, but it's certainly a cool tactic, and especially because it is the only continuation that is winning for white. I don't think anything else here. Queen takes a8, knight takes b5. Holy cow! Immediately, knight takes b5 is an option, but so a couple options here. Knight takes b5 is one move. Why? Because it hits the queen, and if the bishop takes the queen, then you take the queen with check. Actually, that'd just be awful. If you take here and they take your queen, they're just losing on the spot. 100%. You not only you're up 2 pieces here, so that clearly doesn't work for them. They have to find out another way to move forwards. And in the meantime, I'm up a rook. So they have not taken my queen back. I'm up a clean rook. They can't even take here. I opted for bishop takes b5. I'm not really sure why. I think I got a little bit scared of... I don't know what I was scared about, but I opted for bishop takes b5. And this, guys, is a really cool tactic that I feel like is pretty advanced. Spotting these kinds of pins where you can't move the bishop or something on a diagonal because it would give the king a check. But especially when it's hanging, when it's attacking your queen, it's not the easiest find, I would say. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's one of the more advanced tactics that even I miss. I miss a ton of all the time. I don't know why I said even I. Like, I miss all sorts of stuff, but whatever. I was happy to find this. I'd seen, I'd calculated this all the way through down to queen to a3, and my queen was safe, and that's all I saw. Queen was safe, and I'm applying pressure on d6, so I knew I was winning here. I have the pressure. I'm up an entire rook exchange. I'm up an exchange and a pawn. Here I castle because, well, obviously he's defending this, but if he were to push it to attack my queen, I just take his queen and his knight afterwards. So he can't push. He goes queen b7 to threaten b4. I saw that coming. I just slide the queen over to b3. And this is not a threat. It's defended by the knight. So I guess this maybe is... I guess it was a double threat to play b4 and also build a battery, but the battery just doesn't really work. And nothing is threatening to kick that knight away anytime soon. So I'm still pretty confident here, okay? b4. I guess it's fine, but I don't know. If I were black, I would just develop my pieces. You're not really threatening anything. If you take my knight, I'm just going to take your queen first and then take back. And now I'm trading down up in exchange. I decided for d5. It's aggressive. I was happy to find this. Reason being, let's see, what was the reason here? Takes. Okay, you can't take. I wanted to open things up. If I'm remembering this, I think it's just I wanted to open the position up and force more trades, and this does kind of force a trade, even if it is pawns. So here, knight goes back, and yeah, I think I'm trying to like double the pawns up and then target those, and then more importantly, I'm gonna try to force the queens off. So I play a3 here. He jumps the knight into e4. He's threatening a fork here, so knight e4 is threatening knight d2. Let's just take care of that, and also attack. This rook is beautiful. Attack the weak pawns, put it on the semi-open d-file. Take my bishop if you want to, I don't care. I grab the, we've trade queen, so I grab the queen on b7. Now I am a happy camper. I'm up 2 points material, but still, it's 2 points material, and we're trading pieces here. And I'm almost certain I'm going to win these pawns as well. This was the first moment, bishop a6, where I was like, okay, I think I started to play a little bit faster because I was down on time, and I might have gotten a little overconfident. Bishop a6 was the first move that kind of caught me off guard that I hadn't seen. So I go rook f to e1. He takes, I take, and all of this was done too quickly. So this is probably my first mistake, but actually, this whole continuation, taking the queen was not the best. But like at the same time, it wasn't the best move. But at the same time, it's just easy to play like that, trade the queens, and But it leads to this entire continuation, which is still now like this. These are all the best moves almost. But it's just that it does lead to me losing back in exchange. However, white is still winning. Why? Because these two pawns are going to fall no matter what. At least this one, and I have one if not two pass pawns. Um, so here's how it goes: knight f6. I take, which this is where things maybe start to go downhill. I take. Computer's like, why did you take that free pawn? I don't entirely understand. And this is where, guys, really it's going to get into end games and why end games are so important and very hard. So I took a free pawn here. The computer instead wanted me to go rook b1, which does make some sense, but also like not because it's a free pawn, and I don't know. Even something like this looks kind of annoying. I guess I could go here, but it just looks annoying. So um, I take king d7, sorry, and I go c4. Why? I'm going to try to utilize this pin, and because if I get rid of this pawn, even if it trades this pawn, I was planning on basically playing off of my outside pass pawn for the win. So that was my plan here. He goes bishop e7. I found a brilliant move. So I was hoping the other, like knight or bishop takes b5 would be brilliant. I don't know why this is brilliant, but the computer thinks it is. It was risky. I did feel a little bit fancy playing this instead of just playing c5 right away. So bishop takes because you pretty much have to take with the bishop. Otherwise, I'm just trading pieces and clearly winning. So takes, and then boom, c5. I'm winning the material back. He played the best. To me, it looked like the best move because I was for some reason thinking he would go here and maybe threaten mate. I don't know why that was kind of scaring me or something like that with the rook, like here. And I was like, ooh, this looks kind of scary, but actually, yeah, I was hoping for this line because then I was like, oh, boom. Then I'm just gonna like, let's see, h4 and h4. Wow, what a move! I was gonna play something like this. Anyways, he didn't do that. He went here, so he wins the pawn back. I was thinking at the end of this line, somehow I was winning another pawn, and I think I'm supposed to here. So now he's starting to win my outside pass pawn. It's a difficult choice. This is really where end game knowledge comes and pays off. I needed to take here and give up that outside pass pawn. I do have a 3-on-2 pawn majority, and okay, here I need to create some loot either way. h4 is so funny. I guess I'm winning that pawn by force, but I don't know. I just thought like g3 or h3. I have to do something for my king, right? I don't know what happened, and we go into this, and I decide that this pass pawn is worth holding on to at all costs. So I play rook f3 because I figured it attacks, defends, and I'll just go around here and try to win these pawns with my king because he, you know. But unfortunately, I don't have my rook behind the pawn because if I had the rook behind the pawn, then I had a very easy win, and that was not the case. And here's where things go a little bit downhill. Wesley's in time pressure, sort of. He certainly can't take too much time thinking. And as soon as I saw this move f5, I think, shit. I think I am messing this up. It's just going to be, as soon as I see that I cannot get in with my king, I just intuitively started realizing, uh-oh, I might have messed this up. I go in king g3 anyways, and yeah, here I'm just like, oh wait, my king is not getting through, the rook is cutting me off, and I can't get my rook behind the pawn. And if I do manage to do that, he'll probably have come over here and try to take my pawns or whatever. I'll just go a little bit quicker here, guys, because really what this comes down to is just core, like basic endgame understandings, which I, in this particular scenario, lacked clearly. By this time, I was already thinking, oh my god, Wesley, what did you do? You blew it. At one point here, I thought I maybe had hope. I was like, oh wait, I am winning. I can do this. But this is just a draw, according to the computer, you can tell. I was looking for fancy tricks and tactics that my opponent might not spot. It's always fun to try to do that when you are pretty confident that the opponent is a little bit, or not quite as strong. Sometimes you can catch them. But this is a classical game, after all, and my opponent played really well. Like, they played the end game super well. So after this happened, like, I realized, yeah, this is a draw. It's a rook pawn, which is basically an automatic draw if the rooks are to be traded off and the king is in front of it. Like, it's a draw. And yeah, there's no way that it's a draw, and I knew that. I played this off, or I played this on a little bit more just to make sure he knew his end games, but we ended in a draw. So the big lesson here other than just the fun, exciting mid game, is endgames, in particular studying outside pass pawns and rook and pawn endgames. Clearly, this pays off. So yeah, just so you guys know, best move here was to take, and then the continuation, rook takes a3. Let's just say, let's go with the second best move, g3, a more findable move, right? g3, rook a6, defending, rook, okay, rook f5 check, king d4 is what I would imagine, yeah. King g2 is what I would play. Rook g6, kind of just holding everything down. King h3, oh, sorry, king f3, king h3. And you get in on the light squares, I guess. Let's see, he tries to attack here. What do we do in this case? Rook f8. Okay, so we just keep the king cut off, right? And then we, oh, yeah, okay. This makes total sense now. And if I had seen this earlier, you just really need, because like, let's see, if he checks, we can just keep moving up, right? Yeah, we can infiltrate with the king. That's really the easiest way with end games, you know, is if you can get your king active and infiltrating to go gobble the pawns up, or at the very least force a trade of pieces and have a 3-2 pawn majority, whatever. Do it. And what I did wrong was, I guess, yeah, not seeing that. Well, in this case, he's gonna win that pawn if he wants to, and I can't, like, I just can't get my king. I'm not going to be able to get my king in here fast enough because his king gets in and it's just a mess. So anyways, that's the lesson. It was a little bit sad to not win this game. At the same time, I think everyone else in my team lost. So we lost. We lost the match period. We were disqualified after the first day. I was super tired. I didn't want to wake up the next day, like really early, or not early, but I did not want a 3-day chess tournament sprung on me. So in my ideal world, I was like, okay, I win my game and we lose the match. It sounds awful. I hope none of my teammates are watching this, but yeah, selfishly, I had just really needed a weekend for quite a while, and I was excited to have that almost happen. I'm like, well, I mean, obviously the best thing is everyone wins. We win the match, but I saw that my teammates were losing all their matches. We were probably going to lose, but I was going to win my match. And so I was like, this is awesome. I'm going to finish this game. Be like, I won, but we lost, which means I don't have to play. Didn't work out like that. But hey, at the end of the day, a draw is better than a loss. I clearly messed up the end game, but I learned from it. And more importantly, like, I had a pretty great season, guys. I lost one game and I won, I think, what is it? It's in my last video I said like 6 games, and had a couple draws. So I threw away 2 games that were draws. Both of the games that I drew, I was winning. I should have won. The last game, one of them, even the loss I blundered. So that's kind of my trend. I usually am better out of the opening, maybe even into the mid game, and then it's like, can I hold that advantage or do I blunder? So I'm just super happy with the season. This is the end of the season. I do plan on playing some tournaments, some classical tournaments, and I definitely do plan on trying to play more over the board chess. I've been taking a break from chess entirely, but I do think it's just better. I enjoy it more. I enjoy the like personal, interaction, as opposed to just online chess where it's not a lot of interaction and can be very addictive. How do we do on time here? We're at 25 minutes. I think that's that's a reasonable duration for a video. So I hope you guys like this. Yes, I am still on the journey to 2,000 and above, 2,000 on chess.com. Again, taking a big break from chess. My rating is at its lowest, but if you want to follow that, I will be picking it up again. So you can follow that series. I'll leave a link. And what else? Yeah, join the Discord server. And if you like this, subscribe, like it, let me know, comment. I hope you guys are all having a good day or evening, and I will see you in the next video.